Hi y'all, we got a great project for you. My friend Don Lyons from Sarasota, Florida sent me this beautiful little cross he turned and suggested that as one of my projects, and I really appreciate that suggestion, Don. Don said he was inspired by Dean's woodworking. I'll have a link to Dean's channel below the description. I'm Mike Peace Woodturning, and I'm passionate about woodturning, and I want to share that with you by sharing tips, tricks, techniques, and projects that will help you become a better woodturner. So this is what we're going to start with. We're going to start with this block of wood. It's a piece of branch with bark on it. It doesn't have to be, but it's an easy way to get wood from a branch. It's approximately 2 to 3 inches in diameter, or 50 to 75 millimeter for those of y'all who are not on the imperial system. It's about 4 inches long, or about 100 millimeters. So let's get started. So we're going to use this live center and this dry center. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark centers on this piece. You know the drill. Hold it. You can use an awl, but I like to use a center punch, and just kind of draw it where you think the center is going to be. That'll be close enough. Take me a little while to get used to this new video setup, so just bear with me as we work through these rough edges together. Okay. All right. Set your tool rest so your tool will be just about cutting on center. Let me get. This is a spindle project. Let me get some eye protection. So first thing we're going to do is, clear it, make sure it'll turn, and we're going to use a spindle roughing gouge. Remember, you don't ever use this on a bowl. Never use this on a bowl. So we're going to start this up. We can turn it at a pretty fair speed since it's safely between centers. We're going to anchor it on a hip, guide our hands along the edge here, and just turn it round. Once we get the edges knocked off, we can adjust our tool rest, get a little bit closer, and continue to make sure it clears. Just remember, don't come back into the wood because you might catch a splinter and pull it off. So always come back off the edge a little bit. Then you can cut it off. When you come back here, catch it on the inside of the wood. Now, I'm going to make this the base, and I'm going to square it off just a little bit, just to kind of give my eye something. I'm going to cut it down, and we'll part it off later with a either a bandsaw or maybe a flush cut saw. And I'm slightly undercutting the bottom, just a little bit, so it'll sit nice and flat. Okay, so now we've got an idea where the bottom's going to be. It's got a little rough edge there. It's not flat. So let me go back and take one more pass. Okay. All right, we're going to mark the base right about here. We're not going to make it too thick. I have a little bit of a pedestal there. And then I think the wings of the cross will go right here, and maybe here. And the top of the cross will probably be right about here. Okay, now there's several ways you could deal with this. I'm going to use a parting tool and then come back and clean it up later. So here on the end, you go down about a half inch, so come back, give yourself a little room so it doesn't bind. That'll be enough for the time being. Alright, now the cross piece, I've got it a bit more than 3, somewhere close to a half inch. I think I'll make it just a little bit wider than that. You're just going to kind of eyeball this unless you want to get your dimensions down on a piece of paper, which is a possibility. Okay, now, the only objection with a parting tool is it's going to leave a pretty rough edge. Depending on how rough, maybe you can sand it out, or you can come back and clean it up later with another tool such as a skewer or a spindle gouge, and that's what I'm planning on doing right now. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch, actually, yeah, I'm going to use a 3/8 inch detail gouge, and I'm just going to skim down here a little bit to clean that up. Just knock over the edges. Come right directly in or it'll have a tendency to escape. Here's the bevel. Bracing it with my thumb. Open it up just a little bit. That is flute pointing maybe towards 1 o'clock. And it's hanging off tool rest a bit, so it's getting a little vibration. But that's a much cleaner cut than I had before. All right, now let's come back on the other side. All right, I'm going to leave that just a little bit. I'm going to come down actually here on that pedestal a little bit. Come back just a little bit. And branches work great. So if you got little branches, give that a try. Green wood is easy to cut. And we're just going to smooth up that rough edge with that parting tool. And let's just round it over here. And we're going to come under on the back side, same way, to kind of clean up that rough cut. Just come in with a flute. That's the flute, the milled out part. Pointing toward 9 o'clock. This is a clock. 12 o'clock's up, 9 o'clock facing my left. And we're just going to come in and then open it up just a little bit, maybe toward 10 once we get started. Okay, and let's knock that edge off a little bit here. Okay, now all we've got to do is get the middle part as wide as this disc. So we're just going to come in here and start thinning it out slowly. Come in here and clean that corner up a little bit. But we need to have it nice and flush square where the two pieces meet. We don't want a little rounded corner in there. We can come back and clean that up with a bit of sandpaper. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to undercut this a little bit more. We're going to take this off of the bandsaw, and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. This is the same technique that I use on doing a cross on a chessman, as I'll show you in this little clip that follows. I'm going to take this down just a bit more to have room for the top, cut off top of the cross. I'm going to go ahead and turn the pate cross on top of this, just seeing how much I need to bring this down with a skew. I think that'll do it. And we're just going to clean this up a little bit. This just give me a little room to get in there and work. Now I want to decide just visually about where the top of the cross would be, and I think that's going to be right about, oh, let's say right there. So how are we going to deal with that? We're going to take our bowl gouge or spindle gouge and just nibble away a little bit. And before I go any further there, let me see what I can do on the bottom here to reduce it just a bit. I think I'm going to make it a little easier to saw it off, I think I'm going to use a thin parting tool and come in on the bottom. I don't want to get it down to too fine because I can cut that off with a flush cut saw. I could cut this off that way, but I think it's a little easier to go ahead and do it with a spindle gouge. And then when we get close enough, we can cut that off with a pocket knife without having to have this thing spin away from us. Now, I've got a little line there I want to get rid of. I probably ought to use a little finer grit sandpaper, so let's handle that. Okay, I think we're just about done. Let's just take this off. Alright, we're going to get a sharp knife and we're just going to, finish cutting that off, and then we can sand it. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, rather than cut this off just now, I'm going to leave this as support because we're going to have to get in here with a bandsaw. Let me show you that. We're going to cut this off, and we can probably trim that end off with a bandsaw while we're at it. So let me see which side we want to the front of the cross and the back. I think I'm going to change the grain color, and that's the part we're going to cut off. So let me just kind of mark that a little bit. Right along there, and right along there. Okay, let's go to the bandsaw. Okay, one of the finish I think the perfect match for this is Mahoney's finish, oil wax finish. It's got doesn't have any harsh solvents. It's got walnut oil in it, and as well as some carnauba and beeswax, and just glop you on a lot. Stuff doesn't hurt to get on your hands. You just glop it in there, get in all the nooks and crannies. And it gives it a natural matte finish, which I think is perfect for this. It's shiny, I don't think is what I want. I want it just kind of a matte. This stuff smells wonderful. Works good on your hands too, softens them up, so don't worry about it. Now just get the end of the rag and just buff it up some, and you're done. And I put my name on the bottom with photography. Okay, and there we are. Y'all stay safe, stay sharp. Y'all come back here.